I'm here. That is so strange that I'm seeing it backward again. Hello. Hello, poor people. I'm just waiting for my chat to come up on my screen so that I can actually see you. I am moving my computer and I've got a new setup that I'm trying today to put my computer a little bit closer at hand so that I can actually see what's going on the screen. So we're trying a new setup and my chat still isn't up, so I can't see if any of you might be here yet or talk to you, but I can talk to you on screen or at least here. Just trying to wind some cords out of my immediate way. Oh, actually, you know what? That would be helpful. I just take it off the hanger and throw it down the back of the desk. Let me see if I can't get some chat to come up. If anybody should happen to say, oh, there you are. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. It is Christine at CLAldridgeArt. I do apologize that you can see my computer here in the corner, but I've tried to move the thing out in front of me so that I have a clue as to what's going on in chat. Hi, Naya. Hi, Randy. Hi, Pickle. Hi, Scooby. Hi, Donna. Coloring with D is Donna. Hi, Joey. Hi, Kim. Hi. Oh, hi, Nikki. I'm so glad you made it. And let's see, Mia Bear and Mona and Pamela and Debs. And hello, everybody. Look what I finally laid my hands on. A copy of my own, whoops, of my own book. Needless to say, I am delighted. I finally got hard copies in. Oh, good. Yeah, it's the only thing that's going to be awkward is if I have to type anything on the thing. But and I got to move this camera forward. Actually, that's probably part of the issue. There we go. And it is so weird because my camera is not sitting center. I'm wondering if maybe I accidentally panned a direction and didn't realize it. Unable to pan. Okay. Oh, okay. That way. All right. Okay, got it. All right. So rather than have you look at the glare, this is, of course, my book, Flowers of Wonder and Fantasy Flower Garden. In all of my streams, like when I showed my recent coloring book collection, I actually had to put pictures of these up. And of course, you know they arrived the next day. And then, of course, finally, you get to see a copy of the Fabulous Flowers without the bar across it. Uh-oh. Why am I getting a... All right. All of a sudden, my thing is going funny. Hang on. Is anybody else seeing a weird, glitchy kind of... Anyway. What I thought that we would do today is have me do what I intended to do, which was pay attention to chat. Maybe this will be better. Plus, it's much prettier. All right, so let me scroll back just a tiny bit. I'm a little discombobulated today, as you can obviously see. Hi, Zargat. All right, Mia Bear, Devs, Kim, Zargat, Rosemary, hello. And Shelly, welcome. And Montecita, welcome. And, or Montecita. Okay, Lisette, And hi, everybody. And I can't type any day, actually. Let me see. Let me go down. Morticia, hi. It's got to be my sleeve doing it. That's weird. Okay. Um, you know what? I think it might have something to do with the light. With the computer being so close to the light, it makes the feed go weird. I wonder if maybe moving my computer was not such a good idea. All right. Okay. I, ah, God, you'd think I'd done this before, wouldn't you? Maybe that'll help. I'm having trouble staying centered, but that's like not unusual for me. All right, let's go with this. Let's start over again. Refresh. Hi, everybody. This is Christine at CLAldridgeArt. I am a coloring book artist, and I have drawn a lot of fine books for you. I do color from them every Sunday. Once a month, I do have a guest artist, and this month I have not yet decided who it will be, but it'll be next weekend's. And by the time that this stream is over, I will have decided. Uh, Maybe when you zoom, yeah, it probably will when I do. Um, do you guys want me to continue on with this, or do you want me to start something new? And that is the question. Hopefully, Elizabeth, it has stopped the flickering for right now. I moved the light a little bit. I moved the computer a little bit. I think that there's a weirdness with the way that the light hits uh, the white. Well, hi Shannon, welcome. Please continue with this one. Okay, good. Uh, all right, good. Hi Mona, and welcome everybody. And if I didn't see you just now, please don't take it personally. I'm very nearsighted, and I've moved my computer so that it's in my line of vision now instead of sitting, way over there. Uh, but it doesn't make me see any better. It just means I can see the chat moving. Um, Hi Becky. Uh, I have to leave. I have to. Oh, okay. Yeah, Morticia. I realize that it's. Yeah, I completely get that. I know what that is. Just eating. I imagine that most of my European folks are, in fact, eating at this particular moment in time, and it's just gone 2:38 here. So I'm on the west coast of the United States in Virginia. For those of you that this is your first time here, I do have 11 books that I've drawn, or actually that I'm in. I've drawn 9 and I'm featured in 2 others. Um, I did while I have you, and because I've never been able to show it to you before, Deb has done a marvelous job in helping me to promote this book, which is my second to last book. This is my most, excuse me, my most recent book. And this is the one that sort of fell in between a big promotion that I did um, on my Flowers of Fantasy book. And Flowers of Wonder came after it, and it just sort of missed out on the promotion. So I just wanted to do a quick, some of you may remember that I colored that on stream. This is Derwent Inktense. So that is in this book. This is probably one of my favorite images from the book. And I love drawing it. I've seen some really beautiful colorings of it. I do have, I'm so sorry. I do have a Facebook group and artist page and all that kind of wonderful stuff. So that's it for the newbies. These are some other pages that I've colored here, all from my books. This was January guest artist, Rob Roscom. Of course, I was fine all day. Didn't cough at all. All right. Thank you. I love the Rose Band too. Thanks, Deb. And everybody, thank you so much, Deb, for such a wonderful show today. And I love all of those books. So, provided I don't fade away here in my chair, we're going to continue on with this. And in order to do that, I need to find my Inktense, which as usual are in their tin with the protective ribbon. I'm going to hit mute for a second, guys, and have a proper cough. I'll be right back. It is springtime here in Virginia, and I was outside earlier this morning, and there is pollen coming off the trees. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I do smoke, but I don't usually get this bad unless there is some kind of a catalyst, and pollen coming off the trees will do it every time. So for those of you who have been following this project, a couple days ago, I did the background with Neo colors. Stop doing that. I just don't know what's causing that. I could figure out what's causing it. I could stop it. I did the background with Neo colors, and in order to do the moon, I put some cream colored Prismacolor around the moon before I did the watercolors. And the effect that I was going for was kind of the effect that I've got. I'm going to be able to work with this, but I was looking for the ability to put clouds in the night sky. And it occurred to me that it would have been much more successful if I had continued out here with the Neo colors, or with the Prismacolors, with that cream, and made the clouds that way. So I think if I try that effect again, that is what I'm going to end up doing. But we don't have that option to go back to on this one at this time. So I'm going to try a different possibility. And, I am all about experimenting with my coloring supplies. I love to do that. So I want to see if I can do this. Oh, It's got to do with some kind of movement. I'm guessing that I just should not have. All right, let me see. You see if turning it away like that helps. Oh, that's a little better. Why are you doing that? See how that flicker is going to drive me crazy. And I imagine that it would drive you crazy. There is something causing that. I'm going to keep moving away from the light and see if that helps. Or that only makes it worse. Yeah, exactly. Like there's a short. I don't either, but it's got to do with move. It's literally, it's about the movement on the screen. See, if I just put my hands down, it stops. But it's got to do with movement now. You just never know with this silly tech stuff. Let's see if it likes white things. Yeah, that is weird. Okay. Guys, for just a second here, I'm going to move my computer back to where it should be. Give me just 1 second. I suspect it's got to do with the fact that I moved the light a ton closer to, hang on, I hope you can hear me. I moved the light a ton closer to the work in order to make room for the computer on my desk. And because the computer sits off to my side normally. And this will be the test of whether or not it's the setup or the YouTube today. YouTube has just not been very cooperative for any of us in the last probably, 90 days going on. Nope. It's got to do with the stream. Of course, it would be the highest number of people that I've ever had at 50 and all of that. Well, I'm just going to continue on and we'll see what we can do. You know what, guys? I'm going to have to restart this stream. I don't think that it's fair to you to have to watch that flicker. It is flickering like crazy. No, there's no, that isn't it. It's not, it's actually got to do with, I know enough about high definition cameras to know that it's got to do with the way that the light is playing off the white and the black. And let me try something. Let me look at the advanced settings and let me see if I can adjust the gamma or the gain. And see if that stops it. Yeah, I know just enough about technology to be kind of dangerous. Let me try. No, that makes it worse. Okay. Yeah, it's got to do with the oh, hang on. It's kind of got to do with the white balance. It's the way that a camera recognizes white is the way that it determines how to focus. So what you have to do is you have to always set a white balance, and your camera will focus better. But this has got to do with movement. So it leads me to believe, well, damn. We'll try and see if we can. We'll see if it will work. If it doesn't, I'm going to stop the stream and start it over again, because it's not fair to you guys to make you watch flickering. Sammy, when it was a loose wire. Yeah, I've just checked all my connections and they're all good. Wait, whoa, wait. Wait. Oh, I think I do know what it is. You know what? And it does have to do with connections, but not, it's got to do with the magnet in the box. Hang on. I'm moving what I'm doing is I'm moving the power box for the computer because it's always plugged in when I'm online. Away from it, maybe. All right, now nothing is causing that to move in any way. There's no shaking of it on the desk or anything like that. It's actually sitting on the floor where stuff doesn't shake. And it's still going to flicker. So what I'm going to do, all right, well, I might as well, well, maybe it'll stop. That's me sort of practicing avoidances. Maybe if I just move very slowly. See, if I move slowly, it doesn't do it. This is going to turn into a stream about playing with the camera. Anyway, I don't want to play with the camera. I want to color. So I'm going to. I'm going to take some white and I'm going to throw it in up here. And just make some little clouds in the sky where I want them. Kind of streaming away from the moon. Now on the moon, I have to put a little, whoops. To put a little face. Not I don't remember the way that the face in the moon goes. If I remember correctly, it's like one like this, and then there's just a couple up here, and maybe a few little craters down here. And see how I'm just sort of barely touching the gray? You probably can't see that because now I need to zoom in. See if zooming in helps. And I really thank everybody for their patience while I figure this issue out. It means an awful lot to me. looks pretty clear. So I'll make some irregular shapes here. And don't worry that they're so dark. They will, in fact, lighten up as this part dries. And then what I'll do is I'll go over the moon with the white so that it will look like wispy clouds going by. Okay. So that's what I wanted to do with that. I'm so discombobulated by things, mechanical things or technology things that don't work. I am sorry. Okay, I'm not being very interesting today. And so how is everybody? Let me just move. Donna, that's a lovely thought. Uh, let me just move that out of the way and look at the chat. It's a drawing, and it's from my book, Welcome BMWM. BMWM. This is a book or a drawing, and it's one of mine. I am an artist, and it is from a book that I have drawn called Fantasy Flower Garden. And there's links in other videos. There will be links to all of this stuff in this video too. But that's what I do. I'm a coloring book artist. I draw and then I actually color other people's work and my own work most of the time. And I do it sometimes well and sometimes, obviously, not quite so well. This is an example of both. It has features that I really love, like I'm loving how the water is turning out. I'm not super fond of the way my little girl, and these, by the way, are mice. They're not cats. They're supposed to be mice. Uh, but this is, I started this for Valentine's Day, and but we didn't get it finished. But like, I love the way the brick wall is turning out. I really love that. All right, let's find something else to color while we're waiting for that to dry. I've got the iron green, which is the 1310. And so I thought I would go ahead and do one of the leaves just to show you what I did with these. I can hear Sargent laughing at me because I am not usually quite this discombobulated. And this is the felt green, which is 1530. And if you are new and are unfamiliar with how Derwent Inktense work, they are ink pigment pencils, and you put them on dry and then activate them with water. Spots on the ears. Yeah, I think it needs something, and I will, it as with, excuse me, as with all of my projects, I will be tweaking it for weeks. You know, it'll sit on my desk even after I've taken a picture of it and posted it on Instagram. It'll sit here and receive little twists and tweaks for weeks as I see something that I think might make it better. I could use Pickle's method and just throw some glitter on it, which would also make it better. Hello, Kenneth and Heather and all the other people who have come in. Obviously, I have not been able to say hi to you all. I'm having a day of it. I need to plan my I need to plan my transitions better. I didn't transition from Deb's to my stream very well today, but it's the first time that I've done the transition uh, when I've actually been in Deb's stream to the end as well. So uh, maybe next week I'll leave a little bit earlier and make sure that all my technical stuff is right. I also might have hit a wrong link in choosing which camera and which because I'm using the high def audio codec, and I may need to not use that. I may need to use the just the regular high def for the sound, because that could easily cause some kind of a glitch. And I apologize that I've had you so far away. But I have trolls in chat. Oh, thank you, Deb. Deb got him, Kenneth. Thank you, though. Heads up, thank you, by the way, to all mods in everybody's channel. They do a nice job in moderating the chat, making sure that people are seen, that questions are answered, even if it's not always by the host. They provide links, they bash trolls. They're really wonderful. So applaud the job that mods do, not only in my streams, but also in all of the streams that you attend. Mods salute. Okay, so that's really all there is to the leaves. Just two-tone. I went through those in the previous. No, I went through. When I say those, I mean these flowers. I went through these flowers in a previous stream. So instead, I'm going to move down to these flowers, which are the two tones or three tones. And I did this with a variety of colors, which I will show you now. Oh, wait. Oh, trolls? Trolls have terrible lives, yes. They have nothing better to do but interrupt other people at what they love doing most. Okay, so for these flowers, I need to move the camera further this way. So it's not, so you can actually stand a chance of seeing what I'm doing. This is the Shiraz. And this is the golden yellow. And this is the mid vermilion. And I wanted to try and keep this sort of an orangey palette, or a goldy orange palette. But I also wanted a little pop of wine at the end, which is what the Shiraz is about. So for this, all I really do is just start here very lightly, and just in this sort of center area, put in a little of the mid vermilion, and the mid vermilion is 0320 is the color in the Inktense box. And then I put the Shiraz down here. And in these little flowers, a little more of the vermilion in the center part, and then the golden yellow, which is the 0230. Jeez Louise. The 0230. And I put that kind of closer into the leaves. Then when you go to wet it, I'll start here at the yellow and work my way into the vermilion and then down into the Shiraz, and then I'll lift my brush and actually brush it off. And do the same thing with each of them, and I end up with that sort of tricolor look without mushing all the colors together. I just think that it is so fun to do these and really play with your tools. You know, really kind of, if you've got a vision in mind of something, try it. You know, it's paper, it's ink, it's now this particular page. The only reason I'm actually coloring it on cardstock is because I didn't have a copy of this book. I had given away my last copy. Now this one, I'm putting the golden yellow on the inside instead of the vermilion, but I'm doing that just to add a little bit of of difference, because flowers are different. They grow on the vines differently. Uh, Maybe there's uh, something in the way that causes the color to reflect light differently. It doesn't all have to be exactly the same when you color. So play. That if you get nothing else from me, get play with your tools. Learn your tools. And the only way to learn your tools is to find out what they do. You know, play with them. Play with watercolor. Play with, with pencil. Play with your eraser. Uh, Play. This is a hobby. You're not, unless you want to, creating masterpieces is something that comes later. What comes before that is play. Oh, do we have? Oh, thank you guys. See, I'm not even paying any attention. And hopefully neither are you. I mean, neither is the audience. Disregard those trolls. People with big hammers are after them. I wonder what I've done to deserve trolls today. Oh dear. Beside, break my own rule and be out of focus. That looks a little bit better. I apologize. And I can actually see it, but I can actually no longer see the chat. So, okay. Hi, Shalene. Hi, Nick and Tina. Hi, 343. Welcome, everybody. And I'm smoothing it out a little bit as far as having gotten my act back together. I started. I started with a setup that I wasn't wholly comfortable with to begin with today. So with my computer in a different spot and my tools in a different place. Like a lot of people, I don't do change very well. But I do like to play with my tools. So giving the new setup a try, and I may be able to iron out the details, but I think I'd have to move the lamp or it's a domino thing. If I move the computer, I have to move the lamp. If I move the lamp, I have to move the tools. If I move the tools, I have to move my drawing pens. Mid vermilion, golden yellow, and Shiraz. And notice I'm not being super neat, or I am getting off the screen again, or anything like that. Just sort of playing with it. You know, maybe this time I'll throw all three colors into that little tiny space. And you can mix your medias too. I mean, I absolutely love what Anne did with that frame from my book. And for those of you who might not know what I'm talking about, the other day, a channel called A Colorful Life took a frame, an empty frame, out of one of my books that I had put in the last book. I had done a couple of empty frame sets. And I'll show it to you. Okay, so I did these two empty frames in my last book. I put both these in along with, sorry, I'm seeing everything opposite of you guys, so I'm always going the wrong direction. And these are some bookmarks that are in the book. These are bonus editions at the end of the book. And then additionally, there's bonus pages from my other books and stuff like there's all kinds of travel size stuff. There's this one is in almost all of my books because it's my favorite phrase. Anyway, and she did this mixed media piece using a picture from Ikuko's Surreal book, which she cut out. She colored it and then she cut it out, put it in inside of that frame, glued it in, and then colored all around it. And then embellished the whole thing with sequins and all kinds of stuff. And I thought it was just so cool. So I do have those frame packs. Yeah, we do keep the stream absolutely religion free. We don't discuss politics. Uh, we try to keep health issues to a minimum. Gross stuff is kind of it's just such a turn off to people that we don't really like to do that here or in any stream. So yeah, trolls, go away. Thank you, Dev, for the job you are doing. It's got nothing to do with a prejudice against religions or anything like that. It's just not appropriate for a Sunday color and chat. Wow, we are really under attack today. That is the first time for, well, actually, that's not true. My very, very first color and chat, the first time that I did an impromptu live in the instructions of the, in the rules, I had put no, religion or politics or anything like that. And what YouTube read was put this chat on religious and political followers lists. So, needless to say, that is the last time I put that in the rules. Now it's just sort of a spoken rule. Yeah, apparently I've done something to attract their attention. Uh, Although I can't imagine what it would be, because I sort of, I try very hard to stay out of controversy uh, of any kind, and and to mediate it if I do run across it. So I don't think I've done anything to attract their attention. At least I hope not. Let's see what else. I have no idea where this whole week went either. Again, it seems like it was just last Sunday. How could it already be a week later? I just don't get it. Are you waiting on glue to dry, Wendy? Oh, yeah, well, that could be it too. That could be it, that the kids are out of school in places. But, you know, even if that is the case, all right, we could, the state of teenagers these days, I don't know. Kids with nothing better to do than interrupt other people? I don't know. I think kids are better than that. Of course, it only takes a few to create a major headache. It really is, and as much as I hate to say it, it the we don't like to think that there are people listening or reading or doing all of that, where it's all sort of but electronically, monitored. But I'll tell you this: I close caption my videos, which means that by the time that the video is done, pretty much a audio listening device has typed up everything that it thinks that it hears me say. And it's already on there. Now, it can be pretty darn funny. If you go back and read the closed captions on people who don't go back in and edit it, uh, some of the stuff that the audio hears, because it's an automatic thing, it's a voice reader, is pretty darn funny. Like it always hears me say CLAldridge instead of CLAldridge. So I'm always Eldridge, Eldridge. Uh, and and it's really good for complex words and really, really terrible on simple words like when and then and the and it and as. Uh, okay, this is the iron green. And I'm doing just a very simple, because I've got sort of very multicolored flowers. I don't really need to make multi-variegated leaves. Plus, they're tiny. These leaves are tiny. So I'm just putting some color down the center of the leaves. This is one of the wonderful things that I just adore about Inktense is that it is fairly quick to color with. And see, May, aren't Deb and I filling your time nicely? Of course, it's not your time yet, but when we get there, Deb was nice enough to run a little long today so that I wouldn't have to run quite so long today because our Miss May, although she is here, is not at home with her streaming stuff. So May Brox will not be on today, but we will all also be meeting up later at the wonderful Shalene's channel, which is the Coloring Book Nook, for a lovely evening of Mad Libs. So, and that is always fun. If you haven't been to a Mad Libs yet, I strongly urge you to do so. I will be putting in a link to Shalene's channel, or one of the mods can do it. Exactly, Michelle. Exactly. The automatic transcribers are hilarious. Let's put it this way, guys. They work about as well as autocorrect. They can really be wonderful for that word you're having a tough time spelling. But but they are just awful on simple phrases. That said, they are also a lifesaver to those people who need closed captioning, and people who do use closed captioning, I think for the most part, understand that the difference between an edited uh, closed captioning and a and one that has actually been professionally transcribed. And there are services. Hang on, I'm not happy with my focus again, guys. Uh, there are services that will transcribe for you. but they do charge a fee. I almost had it. The problem is autofocus doesn't work this close up. That looks pretty good. But it's not insubstantial, the fee, when you start, getting into a lot of transcribing, which of course a streamer would. Uh, so I do it. I go back and I edit as I have time, and I am behind on that editing to correct the transcriptions. So there's some pretty funny stuff in my streams. Now, of course, the other option that you always have with the Inktense is that you can come right off the pencil with the tip of your brush. And it doesn't take very much to load up a lot of color. And you can just touch up little areas where you might want a darker shadow, or areas where you didn't quite have enough pigment. Then you just wipe it all off on a nice paper towel. Excuse me. Okay. So there is that. Now, I am. Hang on 1 second. I am needing just a very quick moment to go grab a little water. And I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. I do apologize for that. Oh, look, I, I picked up watchers while I was gone. Thank you for staying, everybody, and I apologize for that. Actually, I threw my coffee in the microwave, so I'm going to go get it here in just a second, too. All right, now, so we've done that part and our leaves. Now, what I've been trying to decide is what to do with this outer frame. And part of it uh, is I can't decide if I want it to be metallic or if I want it to be like gray, like concrete, so that it matches the fence. If I want it to be gold or silver or oh wow, okay. Coloring D, Christine also is doing some beautiful work with watercolor. I will have to check that out. You mean Donna? Are we talking about Donna? Oh, thank you, Kiwi. Thank you, Kiwi Mama. I'm so glad to see you and welcome. Uh, oh, are the trolls back? The spot where you take the road, Ken. Yeah. If see now, I haven't found that. I do find that if you do take it from the brush, also, and may back me up here, be sure to let the the pencil dry out before you then use it on the paper. Try to color because otherwise the ink is damp or wet. But and it'll go down really, really, really a lot. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you very much. Okay, I heard the microwave beep. So I'll be right back one more time, and then I promise I'll stay. We'll be in for the duration. Okay. There we are. Now I am all fixed up and ready to go. Okay, right, my work here is done. I'm going to work to get some food. You haven't gotten any food yet? Have you been out front fighting the good fight for me, Dow? Thank you. So any thoughts, guys, on the outer frame here? Any good advice, or should I just do what I think I should do? Oh yeah, no, do not dip the whole pencil in water. No, 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 no. No, you will ruin your pencils for one thing. You'll ruin the wood, you'll ruin everything. You've been zapping the muzzies. I like that. I like that. Uh yeah, whatever you're having, Deb, have some for me too. uh, Anyway, okay. I do have to admit, guys, I am pretty proud of the way that this water is coming out. Uh, it's not quite done yet, but oh, are we going to start that again? Okay. Uh, dark gray with silver over. You know, that is actually not a bad idea. Um, I have seen a Stay Wet palette, yes. I believe that oh, what do I want to call her? Lindsay over at the Frugal. There, oh, there was a problem. Okay, wait. Wait for it, wait for it. Okay. Hopefully that will help that. It seems to want to do it at the further distances, the flickering. So, uh, thank you. Thank you, Kenneth. I really appreciate that. And, oh, Jude, okay. Bye. Thank you for being here. Uh, and hi, Tanya. Welcome. And, all right, let's try. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? We don't like it. And while it is a little more difficult to take out a color that you don't like, it's just paper and it's just ink. And, and so let's go for it. I am a super duper fan, by the way, I've become a super duper fan of Payne's Gray. It is a blue gray. Whoops. Pardon me while I don't reach across. While I find it. All right, so there's the Payne's Gray. And then I always use the neutral gray. So let's try the neutral gray. Once again, the worst thing that can happen in any coloring project is you don't like it. And when that happens, you can always fix it. You may not be able to fix it right away, but you can just wait and get better at certain skills, maybe fix it, or in the case of this, because I had a PDF that I was able to then print onto my own paper. And just so everybody is really clear, if you have the choice of buying an artist book or buying an artist PDF, and they are self-published, like so many of us are, buy the PDF, mostly because the artist makes more money. Now, understand that that means that you have to do the printing. So, you've got ink costs and stuff like that. But just as a general rule, when faced with a choice, the artist makes more money with the PDF. So, just a general knowledge thing for you to tuck under your hats. So let's try this. And so we're going to make it more look like a little bit of concrete. Or mortar, so to speak. Then I was going to use the Payne's Gray in these areas. And see how that works out. As long as you stay inside the lines. As long as you stay inside the lines, the Inktense does not bleed out on your paper. Concentrating a little bit. Okay, that's great. Now I'll leave that alone and I'll go back and do this other part when that's dry. It does. Now, it's also so everybody knows, do not ever let anybody tell you that you cannot use Prismacolors, polychromos, watercolors, water mediums, water markers, or whatever on Amazon paper. You can, I do. I am proof positive that it can, in fact, be done. And I can show you. I can show you how. I can show you that you should never let an artist go by that you like just because you don't like the paper that their book is printed on. So, because I've got books and books full of positive proof that you can, in fact, do it and come out with a beautiful result. This is CreateSpace paper. This is my book, my design, my coloring, and yes, it did bleed through. And who cares? You know? And this was watercolor markers, or water markers, water-based markers, and a little glitter gel pen. And this is Neos and water-based markers. And so, yeah, you can do it. You can do it easily. The paper's not falling apart. There's no holes in it. You can see stuff on the back, yes, but otherwise, it was fun to do. So, to the naysayers out there, uh-uh, it doesn't work for me. It might not work for you, but it works fine for me. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so now let me come down off my high horse and do some green leaves. So we'll pull the iron green. This is more just getting me back on track off my from a little mini rant. I apologize for my mini rant, guys. Yeah, you just simply have to let it dry between layers, and do not rub, do not scrub. I know a lot of people like the scrubbing method with their markers. You just can't do that on. I don't recommend doing it on any kind of paper, but something other than watercolor paper or marker paper, you shouldn't do it on to begin with. So. I do apologize for that, guys. I've been holding that in all week. As I am not oblivious to what has gone on over, when we had, I mean, gosh, a lady felt so bad one day when somebody told her that coloring on CreateSpace paper, couldn't be done, and that everything that was colored on CreateSpace paper looked terrible. She took that to heart and quit coloring. So it's whoever said it robbed her of her hobby. And boy, I'll tell you what, that set the community on alert. And everybody, I've been so proud of everybody who rallied to her defense and, and said, do not let somebody else's opinion color your beautiful work, you know, and, and, it's just, gosh, it's like irresponsible chatter. Anyway, says the queen of words matter. Words matter. The words that we use matter. We should think about them. Especially if you're a channel owner. You know? I am here to encourage. I would never dream of discouraging anybody in any artistic endeavor. This is going to work out nicely, Kenneth. I like this. It's going to need, obviously, it's going to need some shading and stuff like that. But it's a really good, exactly. Exactly. It is disrespectful of, of, of other people. Nobody, it's disrespectful of me because I can do it. I can color on CreateSpace paper. And, would I rather color on other paper? If Amazon gave me a choice of getting other paper into my books, I would probably opt for that choice. But they don't. They give us one choice, everybody. One. Or if you want to pay, it's roughly 5 times the cost of printing to have the color print paper. And people say that they will pay that extra price for the book. But we are talking about the difference between a book that will cost you $7.99 or one that will cost you $26. That is the cost difference. Now, there are folks, uh, uh, one notable artist who just recently put out a new book on the coloring paper. She's priced it higher. Her prices are higher. Uh, Her profit margin, I calculated it the other day. It's about 12 cents per copy. That's how much she's making in order to, because what she did is in order to absorb the additional cost, she took all of her profit margin out of it. So, so that's great. And she can afford to do it because she sells literally thousands of books. A CreateSpace author, yes. And then you got guys like Jason Hamilton. Jason Hamilton sells tens of thousands of books, and he can afford to start his books out at $3.99. Most of us cannot do that. Okay, now I really will get off my high horse because I guarantee you that not a single one of you cares about that stuff. Yeah. Okay. All righty. So now we'll do the felt green again. And with Inktense, you don't have to be, there's about a million different ways to use them as well. you'll notice that I have a tendency to use them like a layer of paint and then smooth them out by blending them together. But like May uses them and does the, around the edges kind of thing, and then wets the center and uses them more like watercolor so that they flow in. So there's just lots of different versatility in water mediums. And then you can enhance them with pencils. So pencils is an important aspect also, because you can do some beautiful fine detail work with your pencils as well. I don't think I'd ever wet this part. So let me. Plus, it's using the water mediums. It's like magic. To me, it's magic on the page. I am going to have fun reading back the chat on this one. I always read back my chat, everybody, so that I can pick up the things that I missed, because I know I'm terrible at actually following the chat. And I thank you all for being so kind and letting me get away with it most of the time. Okay. Oh, we do have. Oh, wait a minute. I know. We have giveaways to do, don't we? He thought I'd forgotten. See, what's our time clock here? Oh, we are at 3:52. Okay. In that case, then, y'all see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to go all the way around this frame. And I will, if we don't get to it today, we will come back to this in just a second. But, and by the way, entries for this are already closed. They closed at 2 o'clock today. And yes, Nia Bear, or not Nia Bear, but Nia, I did get you. You were my last entry. All right, so we had 23 entries, which means that at least almost a quarter of you are going to be winners. Now, as you can see, or maybe you can see, I have a list of everybody's name, and next to everybody's name is written a number. Now, Lisa's coloring corner was the only one I did not assign to a number to, because it did not look as if she was entering. She didn't say entering, so I'm assuming that by her comment that she wasn't entering, even though she did say what she liked about my channel. So everybody has a number, and we're going to use a random number generator. And this is, by the way, those of you who may be new, when I hit 500 subscribers, it's like the triple, it's like a 555 giveaway. I had a set of 5 of my drawings that were exclusive to the Color On magazine last year. So they've never been available anywhere else other than there. So what I've done is I've made a 5-pack PDF of these 5 files in PDF form, and there'll be 5 winners today to celebrate 500 subscribers. And how you entered is no longer of any concern, because the entries are closed. But we can, in fact, move that back so we have something pretty to look at. Oh, and I did discover why my computer crashed the other day. I apparently had synced my phone and my computer together over Wi-Fi in addition to when it's plugged in. And so when I hit YouTube and came into my look at my own stream last time, or that time that we crashed, it was because I was in there twice and it froze up the system. It was like a paradox. I was in two places. I was in two places at the same time. Okay. That's not what I want. What do I want? I want this. I want random.org. How did it know? Okay. So we had 23 entries. So, oh, for heaven's sakes. Go away. Thank you. We had 23 entries. So 1 through 23. So we're going to generate number 10. So number 10 is Rock My Tarot, Julia. Number 20. Number 20 is Shannon Lefevre. Number 6. Number 6 is Phase Color In. All right. Number 15 is Patty Garrity. And last but not least is number 4, which is Flying Geese D. Ooh, I like the way that worked out. Ha-ha! Yay! Congratulations, winners. I am going to be putting these in Dropbox. And if you will be so kind as to email me here. Hang on. CLAldridgeArt at gmail.com. And you just email me and say winner in the subject line. That's all you really need to do, because all I need is your current email address to be able to send you the link to get your prize, to download your prize. And what you do is you just go to Dropbox, and if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to give me your email, then message me on Facebook, and I will put a link in there for you, whichever works for you. Okay. So the 5 winners once again are Flying Geese 50, Phase Color In, Julia, which is Rock My Tarot, Patty Garrity, and Shannon Lefevre. Okay, that was quick. I like the way that worked out. And that means I can continue to color. All right, so now we know what we're going to do with these outside edges. what should we do with the stones? Should we make them oh, I think they should be concrete too. I think they should be that, or yeah, I say concrete. Uh but let's call it dark marble. How about that? We'll call it dark marble. You want the one I'm working on. That one is, oh, by the way, everybody, all of the books, all of the pages in all of my books are available as individual pages. You don't have to buy an entire book from me. You can buy an individual page. They are in my Etsy shop. And, whoop, sorry, I disappeared you there for a second. And that address is right there. So you can always go there. And there's also all sorts of other things there. There's tote bags there that have my art on them. There's frame packs, which are the empty frame packs that we talked about earlier. There are, as a matter of fact, I do have to say I haven't had a sale all day. As a matter, I haven't had a sale all for like 3 days, actually. So anybody who wanted to rush over to my Etsy shop, that would be wonderful because that would mean that I could actually buy cat food next week instead of having to borrow it. Uh, 7 now, Christine. 4 to go. Is that right? Actually, well, technically, but only if you want the treasury books, Dev. If you don't want the treasury books, then there are only 9 of my books in print. There are the 9 major books, which are the big copies. The first one being, well, actually, hang on. Okay, there's this one, which was the very first one. And so this one is Flowers and Dreams. And then the second book was Flower Inspirations. And this one sort of needs a new cover, but otherwise it's the same book. Flowers and Flyers was number 3. Then after that, after the third one is when I did the first travel size book. And it simply has travel size versions of 12 images from each of those first 3 books. So then the next major book was Flowers and Whimsy, followed by Flowers of Fantasy, Flowers of Wonder, Fantasy Flower Garden, and now Fabulous Flowers. The next one due out is a new travel size book, which I've been promising for like 3 months now, and I'm finally working on it. So those are the ones. Bye, Mona. Take care. And oh, yay. All right, Shannon, that's wonderful. Okay, so all right, so let's talk about doing the interior of, okay, there's my Payne's gray. I'm looking for my neutral. There's my neutral. So if I do this, and then maybe I could do the inside here as like a little turquoise gemstone. Wouldn't that be pretty? Do you like a little turquoise gem? there in the center. Feels like a decoration. So I'm just doing a little bit of the light gray, very, very lightly. This is a neutral gray, which is very aptly named. Just around the body of this whole thing. And then what I'll do is once this part is dry, I'll come back in and darken up these lines with the darker gray. These sort of leaf lines. And then we can add any kind of embellishments we want in these gray areas, because gray is a great staging area for for other embellishments. So think of gray as a good background color on which to add things like sparkles and pops of color. That's one of the reasons why I love the mustard color in this set. The mustard and the tan are both excellent. Oh, thank you to whoever that was. Oh, and a special shout out to Connie. Connie Edwards, who is, I believe, a different Connie than CB's, but for using my PayPal tip jar. That was very kind of you, Connie. I appreciate it. Connie always is so kind and shares my videos on Facebook with several groups that she's in. She's just a sweetheart, so I wanted to say a personal thank you to her. This week, she bought me a coffee. I know that. All right, so that will work for that. Now let's go back to these. Let's go back to this since it's dry. And now technically clouds would be going on this side of the moon, obviously. So let's just put in some white misty clouds kind of going across the moon. And for this, I am going to get out the watercolor brush. My water is still tinted a little bit blue from the other night, but I don't think that will matter very much. Just go across the moon a little bit with it. And see if that does us any good at all when it dries. So that it looks like, clouds kind of going across the moon. And I can also just sort of very, very lightly. I'd forgotten that I was trying to tone down those the dark gray of the craters of the moon. And I can do that, I think, when I do a finishing coloring over that after it dries. Because you can take that out with pencils. I can hear a bunch of you going, what is she doing? Throwing down dirty water on top of that. Even dirty water can make a good effect. You just never know. Zargit, are you still here by any chance? I know you've been quiet in the corner. Okay, now, yeah, I think that's going to be nice. I really think that's going to be nice. Look how it's sort of a little bit of that gray sort of is going to flow over as the purple sort of flowed out of there. Sometimes it's just accidents like that that are the happy, the happy circumstances of stuff that happens. Oh, hi May. Are you still in the corner with your little screen? uh, I'm sorry that you do seem to type pretty well on it, but I understand because I know what it's like when I try to type on mine on my phone. Uh, so I understand not saying a lot. Hi Natalie, how are you? And okay, so now here, this glow sort of got a little bit out of hand with when I put it in around my mice, and I did that uh, more to keep the color away so that I could come back in. But I also discovered that in the Inktense or in the Prismacolors, there's not a perfect match to the Neos. So I had thought that I would just use indigo, but indigo, as you can see right here, is a little bit too dark, you know, for it to be a good match. I think it would. You can see where I used it up the side here, and it's just not quite right. Uh, so I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with that. I was going to try lifting some color out this way. See how brightly that comes back? Because the neo colors will erase right off with a pencil. And especially because that's wax underneath. Because I put the Prismacolor wax down underneath. So I thought I might try and erase the Prismacolor a little bit and see if I could get it to soak in more water. I don't think that it will, but the worst thing that can happen is that it won't. And if it won't, we'll find another way to fix it. So it's all about the save. So let's see if we have a color in the Inktense that might work as an indigo. Oh, look, iron blue. Iron blue might do it. Let's try number 840 iron blue and see if it will work. Iron blue. Now I'm still leaving a little bit of a glow. I'm also sort of working out this iron blue a little bit out here to see if I can't get it to blend maybe. So it's not quite a harsh transition. playing. For those of you who watch me, you know by now that I'm not about perfection. I'm about having fun. And if I'm not having fun, then I'm doing something wrong. Ooh, I think that might work. Yeah. Really funky and fuzzy headed, so I'll just say goodbye. Oh, I'm sorry, Jill. Hey, and Jill, I am sorry I missed your birthday, hon. I really am, but I do wish you a very, very, very happy one. I know it was a couple days ago, so and I hope that you feel better real soon. Yeah, it's terrible. I can't type on a tiny keyboard, May, and my eyes just won't take it. I look at it for about 2 seconds, and I can feel my eye focus starting to go. And if it goes for the day, then I'm in trouble because that means I can't draw, I can't do anything on the computer. So I have to be very careful when I use my iPhone to communicate with the world. I am liking that. I am liking that, everybody. That is the fix right there. Yeah, that actually worked. I'm pleased as punch about that. Ha ha. See, and then I can leave a tiny space, just a tiny bit of the glow around here, and it still makes her look like she's being hit by the moonlight. So now what I need to do is see if there is something that, because remember I went a little bit purple over here, so I need a different shade. Oh, actually I need to take out the color first. And yes, the reason why this erases so easily, folks, is because the paper does get a little I don't want to say damaged because that's not the right word. Uh, it changes character. Uh, in other words, water will loosen up the fibers of the paper, uh, especially if you start to take an eraser to it, like I'm doing right now. I'm looking for a piece of card. Geez, you'd think I'd have a piece of cardstock around here somewhere. Oh, I know where it is. Well, yeah. No, I guess I don't. All right. Well, worst comes to worst, we'll use the back. How about that? Okay. And what I'm doing when I do that is I'm sort of trying to clean the stuff off the brush or off the eraser. Okay, so this is the iron blue again. Just trying to work that out just a little bit in there so I can keep my glow, but maybe not have it be quite such a noticeable thing. See what I mean about twisting and tweaking? I'll twist and tweak this for days on end, just changing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, because I talk a good game, but beneath this exterior does live a perfectionist, believe it or not. And if I can get it at least good enough to put my name on, then hopefully the next time you see it, it'll be even better than that. All right, there we go. That'll work. Once it dries out, we'll see how it does. Now this side over here, I had gone a little bit more purple. And so I'm wondering if I might have to mix a custom color to be able to do that same kind of thing, or if there is something in the book that is fairly close. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to mix a color. So let's do that. Let's pretend like we know what we're doing. A palette, some iron blue, and some deep violet, I think. And note that that just doesn't put very much down, and that's because you don't need very much. Because watch this. See, you get just a lot. Just like that. And there's all these little speckles of now the reason why this acts a little bit differently over the pencil, of course, is because it's ink. Although it may have, I maybe should have tried to take a little bit of the color off of that first. Yeah, I think I may have to wait for that to dry and then take a little bit more of the Prismacolor off of it before. We'll try. I kept this a fairly watery blend just so it wouldn't, make a super dark mark if it didn't work out to be the right color. I really just want to leave a hint of glow around them. Where the moonlight's just the top of their little heads. And in order to blend it in, you just sort of spread the color around a little bit to the outside. And it only looks dark and splotchy because it's wet. You won't be able to see the true color until it dries. For the best, and if it worked, great, and if it didn't, you try again with maybe a different color blend. Because Inktense, I have taken it almost all the way back to white before and put new colors down. So, why are you so excited, Nikki? Okay. I just looked back, but I couldn't find, oh, new polys. Yes. Oh, that's wonderful, Mickey. That is wonderful. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Lots of light layers, and polys are really good. Okay. So hopefully that will have fixed at least the worst part of that sort of surrounding thing. Okay, is that dry yet? Not quite. Okay, that's not quite dry yet. So I can't really do anything with that. Okay. Let's see if there is anything else, whoops, that I want to. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Okay. When I did these, of course, they don't have a center yet, and I was sort of unclear as to what I wanted to do with the centers. But if I do little turquoise gems there, then I'm wondering if maybe little turquoise gems might not be a really cool idea for in here. In these little ones. So I thought we'd just go ahead and see how that works. Because I've always liked the way that purples and blues and turquoises work together on a page. So I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is that I had mentioned in the other video that I had used spring green, but so far you haven't really seen me use it. And the reason is because this spring green I used on these leaves here. So so let's go with that and see how that looks. See, I'm really glad I didn't stop the stream and start it again. We just got through the flickery part because it seems to have gotten better. I'm learning to not panic when glitchy things like that happen. So I do that, and then the stem I'll do in the darker green. Oh yeah. See, I'm liking this one so much. I really am liking this one so much. No sound? You have no sound? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Mia Bear? You can't hear me? Try to, you might have hit mute accidentally. I do it all the time. Okay, all right, good. Thank you. You scared me right after I say I stuck out the technical glitches and then there's another one. Ah, oh, exactly, Andrea. It's like, you get through one and it's so funny. Okay. One of the things that I did want to do is take a chance to actually sit and talk to you all for a second at the end of a stream. So you get a couple choices here. So you know what's going on. Uh, uh, May is out of town uh, on a visit, but she's, of course, with us. So she won't be streaming. So I had Deb. Deb went a little long today. I was kind of hoping that he would fill up an hour of May's time and then I would take the other hour. But because it's 2 hours before Shalene now, I was going to ask what you guys want me to do. Do you want to do a little question and answer? Do you want me to finish or, continue on coloring this? Or would y'all like to go have some dinner or whatever and then go to Shalene's stream? So talk to me, folks. Tell me what are we doing here? Because I don't want to stay on and then have you guys feel obligated to be here. Not that you would, but uh, any thoughts on any of that? And while you're typing, I'll just be coloring. Oh, wow. Nikki, that is the lowest price I've seen. Really? Okay, Katrina wants to go have dinner. I've already eaten, guys, so I'm good. I was a good girl all week long. I kept halfway normal hours so that I would be able to be on time to Dev's stream and on time for my stream instead of like last week when I was late to both. Or, yeah, a lot of people are just sitting and coloring. Cheaper Joe. Is that the name of a store? I like the idea of a store called Cheaper Joe. That would work for me. Okay. But only if they carried coffee. Cheaper Joe. That is the iron blue. What I am looking for is the iron green. There it is. So iron green here. Whoops. Color in the right spaces, Christine. And as long as, by the way, if you put Inktense in the wrong place, and as long as you haven't already wet it, you can erase it. Lingering as you're coloring, plus it is pouring rain outside. Oh, would help if I actually put the felt green down too. These are cool. Making sure that you can actually see. I am actually paying better attention to the chat, though, as I'm coloring along, just in case. Just in case anybody has a question for me. Oh, cross-stitching. That's cool. Oh, you get your Inktense on Tuesday. You are going to love those. Well, you may not love them, and if you don't love them, give them to somebody who will love them. Because Inktense deserve to be loved. I haven't met one I don't like yet. And I can hardly wait to I encouraged May to take as many coloring supplies as she wanted with her on her trip. So I hope you have that travel set with you, May, with the colors that are not. There are the reason why I've been so hot after this the Derwent travel set of pan colors is because it's got colors that are not in the Inktense set, not in the 72s. They're like additional colors. Not many, but a few. So. Nia, you bring up the subject. Coloring is losing a lot of people to diamond painting. And of course, a lot of people are doing both. They are very, very cool, by the way, but they are also very, very addictive. And anyway, okay. Well, I can't promise that I'll stay on the entire 2 hours, but I'll give it a shot to stay on a little longer, and we'll just color along. Okay, so this is neutral gray, and I'm once again being very, very light-handed with sort of just adding it in along these lines. And I think that this, I think that's dry enough to try what I want to do with the darker Payne's Gray. So what I'm after is an effect that will make it look a little more like stone carving, like actual carved stone. That's the neutral gray. That's the Payne's Gray. Okay. So I just thought that I would just draw a little bit over the lines. Just the ones to the interior, and then see how that would look. Oops. Okay. I don't want to come very far off those lines in pushing the color around because I want to maintain a sharp definition in there. And we'll know if that worked when it dries. More trying to sort of use it as shadow. Another hair shot? No. Okay. Okay. I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll find out. It may be something that is better done. Actually, let's try the other two with Prismacolor instead. And with everything moved on my desk, I've got the leftover from my failed setup is that I can't. Nothing is right where it's supposed to, or I'm used to having it. Nothing is right where I'm used to having it. Okay, so let's try the Payne's Gray, or the 90% cool gray. Yep, 90% cool gray in this set. Let's see if that works better for the effect that I'm trying to go for. Of course, you know that it does, because you have so much more control. Sharpening my pencil. Which, of course, I rarely, if ever, do I sharpen the Inktense. So, you know, as much as I've used those, they haven't needed sharpening yet, which is another thing I like about Inktense, is that it goes a long, long way. Yeah, see, that's much more of a subtle effect. It works either way, but I really do think that the pencil is the easier way to go, at least on this particular Bye, Nia. Have a good sleep. Cheap Joe's. Okay. Halfway between Los Angeles and Palm Springs. Shannon, is that where you live? I used to live out that direction. In Palm Springs. I lived in Redland, or not Redlands, but I lived in Colton for a while. I lived in San Bernardino proper for a while. Of course, I grew up in Arrowhead, so. So, yeah. Riverside and. All right. So I think either one of those would work for a method, but the pencil, the Prismacolor pencil is a lot easier, I think, for that. Lots of love to you, sweet dreams. Bye, bye, Kenneth. Okay. Yeah, so that'll work. So, oh, and this is dried a little bit, so it looks a little better. Yeah. And let me see, now that the moon is dry, let me see if I can make these grays a little paler with the white. Since I think I made them far too moon-like. Too dark. They were far too dark. And sometimes this works better if you actually, the white, if you actually take it off the, see how kind of thick that comes off the pencil? Some little wispy clouds coming off of there. See if that turns out to be anything at all. Because I'm going to obliterate completely that black line with a white uniball eventually. Painting with pencils. Zoom out, Christine, so we can see it better. Okay. And yeah. See, so it's coming along. It's coming along. I think as this dries, right now it's still very dark because the white over it is not yet dry. But I think it'll dry even more opaque than it is right now. And if not, the next step will be white Prismacolor because that'll go over anything. Okay, so we're out here. Yeah, I think that's starting to look a little more like a night sky, yeah, with the water as we twist and tweak it. And with the colorful flowers down here. And the, trying to move the camera to see if I can get the whole thing in. For some reason, I am not able to. Yeah, I think water came out really nice. I don't think I'm going to tweak that anymore. I like it. I like the way it came out, and I'm liking the moon, and I am liking the using the dark grays on the edge, so it doesn't take away from anything. It makes it all look like it's one sort of continuous piece. And mouse cats. Yes, are mouse cats, but they're not cats, they're mice. And they could be cats, but they've got mouse tails. See, that's just it. Their tails are mouse tails. I like early on, people started calling them chipmunks, and I thought that was so funny because they don't have chipmunk tails. But either that, or perhaps they were just thinking that I draw really bad chipmunks. But they were always intended to be mice. So we could in fact add a few little brown dots to our little girl's ears and see if that is a nice addition. I don't want to pick anything too dark. I'm thinking willow. Thinking willow for little dots in her ears. Uh-oh. See, that's the problem with not being zoomed down and having an object moving at the rate of speed. Is you get that weird flicker. Maybe there. Just a few little twists and tweaks here and there. Oh, those may not have stayed dots. But we can always circle them later with the white. Maybe I should put those in with a sharp pencil instead of trying to do it with Inktense. So never be afraid to mix your medias, folks. So if you find, and this is something that I've learned so much from May, is and from Sammy, you never, like, if you don't have the right color in the set of pencils you're working with, pull the right color from another set of pencils. If you want to mix up your pencils and your water and your paint and all of that, I mean, remember that I did, where is it? Is this it? No, I know where it is. And I think it's this one. Is this the one that I did? Yeah. Remember when I did this, which is the paint? This is acrylic paint and Prismacolor pencils. And I was doing faux marquetry. And by the way, space paper. I love the way this came out. So, uh-oh. Jack, are you all right? Jack, are you there? Jack, can you see me? I'm here, I'm here. Are you, so there's a couple people buffering. Seems fine from here. So I'm thinking that that might be yeah, it might be a local occurrence. All right, let's do this bigger one, and I think I'm gonna do this big one, and then I'm gonna wrap it up, guys, because that way I will have gone on for 1 hour and over my regular time, and then it'll still be an hour before Shalene, but and that I think will work out for everybody. I can tell you that after 2 hours and 28 minutes, I'm pretty well darn ready for a smoke. And that is something that, just like, you do it outside when you're in people's houses, I would never ever consider doing on stream. So we'll just color this in. We've got our 5 winners. 5 winners. Please don't forget to email me, and I'm so excited that I got to do that. And I'm already, of course, dreaming up, because you know that those are not the only copies of those books of mine that I ordered, right? I did order extra copies for various giveaways along the way. And then I have decided that when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I will also give away a starter set of both Derwent Inktense and Neocolors. So together. So I mean, it's not that grand, but it's what I have, and it's what I can afford, along with one of my books, or one of my books. I will away my original Inktense set, used only once before full set syndrome hit, and I ordered the entire set. And my starter set of the Karen Dash, which is basically brand new, same deal. Used them once and ordered the bigger set. So those will be part of that 1,000 subscriber giveaway, but not just yet. It'll be a whole water medium starter kit. Oh, Loretta, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, I have, over the years, I have given lip service, paid lip service to trying to quit. But the bottom line is that I've had awful lungs my entire life, because I was sick as a kid a lot, and I'm already older than than they ever expected me to live to. So so I don't worry about it. I smoked for 40 years, so I'm not, I'm not. At this point in time, I think I would do more damage than good if I tried to quit. I say that, but I get to the brain fog part. That's the part I can't get over. I can't get over the brain fog part. Because if I can't think clearly, then it's why I don't drink. I don't drink because if I can't think clearly and cohesively and cognitively, it drives me crazy. I could never do drugs for that reason. I take a painkiller and it affects like my dentist kept prescribing me these hydrocodones, and I'm like, doc, you don't understand. I cannot take that stuff because if I can't think clearly, I start to get twitchy. It's just a excuse I have, I guess, for A, not using drugs, and B, not quitting smoking. They have gotten very, very expensive. I have cut back. I used to smoke a pack and a half a day, and now I smoke a half a pack a day. So I have, in fact, cut back dramatically for just that reason, because they are so expensive. But then Marlboro keeps sending me these free coupons, with the $2 and $3 off. So like, no, we can't lose you. Okay, so oops, sorry, didn't mean to almost push that off the screen. So for those of you that watched my video that I posted of coloring yesterday and enjoyed the memes, uh, thank you for that. I think it was it Elizabeth or it was oh gosh, I know it's somebody who's here who said she loved the memes. Maybe it was Susie. Uh, let's see. Well, I'm almost 60, so I'll be 60 in a couple of months. And I started when I was 13. So what is that? 47 years? That I agree, Jack. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I do have to say this. There are some days when it's worse than others. When, some days where I can go for 5, 6, 7 hours without even thinking about a cigarette, and others where I'm lucky if I make it a half an hour between cigarettes. It just depends upon what I've got going on. High stress situations will send me over the edge. Uh, the need to think clearly in a crisis, if I have not had a cigarette, will also send me over the edge. Uh, like, for instance, just the other day, I thought I was doing really fine, except when I signed off, I went to my messenger file and there was somebody who thought I'd said something and it was very upsetting to them. And that was very upsetting to me while I solved the mystery of whether or not I said it or how it was misinterpreted or whatever. At which point in time, I pretty much dusted a pack of cigarettes as I was trying to figure out, how in the world somebody heard what I didn't say, or what wasn't said. And I figured it out and was able to then explain it and how it happened. And and I was okay again. So, well, Donna, they're at $65 a carton now, at least here in Virginia. I understand they're over 100 in New York. If you can stop for 2 weeks, you can reach a goal. I agree. I have quit before. I quit for about a year and 3 months, and then I went to a wedding, and the person that I drove with to the wedding, because it was a destination wedding, uh, smoked, and so I ended up smoking in the car with them and picked it up again. Then I quit after I moved here to the east, uh, and I lasted for about 7 months. But once again, I was in the car. I reached around behind me to get something out of the carrying case behind the driver's seat, and there was a pack of cigarettes stuffed in the bottom. And you know what happened, of course, right? Yeah, exactly. You forget you don't smoke. Anyway. All right, guys. In that case, I think that I am going to call it a stream. Let me say just this last thing. Thank you to the audience. I'm looking at this number. It says that there are 34 here right now, but there were up to like 50 something earlier. That is a high number for me. To also have 51 likes, you guys are the absolute best there is. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. And and hang on one second because I am going to also link you up, folks. If you do not already subscribe to Shalene's channel, here is a copy. Here is a link to her channel. And if you go over uh, at usually around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays, she is there. She uses her laptop, so it's not a super sharp, clear picture, but it is so fun to watch Shalene react to Mad Libs as she's reading these. It's tons of audience participation. It is a ton of fun, and I highly recommend it to everyone because if you want to laugh, and it's how Deb got the under nickname Captain Underpants, and I'm glad nobody remembers what mine is. So it is so much fun, and I really, really encourage you to do that. Shalene is, of course, the Coloring Book Nook is the name of her channel. It is also the name of her Facebook group. Also, I do want to remind everybody about Deb's new group. Uh, My Art Bleeds. I was also put in a stream or put in a post about my channel and the fact that I immediately follow him and color in chats and things like that. So thank you to everybody who has come. Thank you to all the people that participated in the giveaway and to the winners. And until we meet again, please color something pretty. Bye, everybody.